but I want to get two things out of the way first. The first is, yes, I'm on the independent sector board, and I'm actually the vice chair, but I want you to know I had nothing to do with this. And for anybody who's thinking about launching some type of investigation into this, I want you to know that any investigation into this matter is a witch hunt. Because there was absolutely no collusion. The second thing, thank you. The second thing that I want to do is clear up another thing. Anybody here who was at the Equity Summit, the PolicyLink Equity Summit in the spring? So if you were there and you saw the tribute that was done to my mom there, you will remember that I kind of shared some of my thoughts about what it was like to grow up in a household with somebody like Angela leading that household. And in that, I think I shared a little bit too much. And so she wanted me to make it clear tonight that none of that stuff was true. So I just wanted to clear up those two things. But on a serious note, I could not be more proud of my mom, not just for this award, but just in all that I have seen her do over the years, all the places that she showed up in, the way that she's shown up, the way that she embraces everyone. You know, there's a term that people talk a lot about nowadays, which is I see you. She sees everyone, and it's really great to be in the midst of someone like that. There are a few reasons why I think her impact is deserving of this award. The first is, and those of you who know her know, that her public life has really been exemplified by a commitment to justice, social justice, and equity and inclusion. And the reason why she's been able to be so effective in that is that it is not a suit that she puts on from 9 to 5. It is who she is. It's actually how she carries herself, not only professionally, but personally, with friends, with family, as a mentor, as a coach. It's just amazing to see. And what makes her effective is the fact that it's not something that is put on. It's a part of her DNA. And I think that that is really special and something that's really great about her. The second thing is that that commitment and that part of her DNA is able to be executed on what I think is like a superpower around the ability to communicate. The ability to kind of take these concepts that are so complicated and boil them down in ways that people understand, but also to be able to speak truth to power in a way that I've never seen before. I've seen it happen before. You guys know, what was the movie by Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill? And in the second Kill Bill, Uma Thurman was sitting in front of David Carradine at the end of the movie, and she did like, anybody remember like that 3-step move? And he didn't know, he knew what was going on, but he didn't die until he got up and walked away. And those of you who know her have seen her speak truth to power in a way that, you know, when she just is so eloquent about kind of breaking down why they're wrong, that it's not until they get up and walk away and start bleeding that they're like, oh, I've been cut. And that's the way that she communicates. The last thing I would say, and it's just so appropriate that she's getting the John Gardner Award, because John Gardner was somebody who was so committed to civil society. And I don't know anybody who has such faith and belief in the role that individuals can play in civil society to bring about the kind of world that we all want to live in. And so with all of that, I just want to say congratulations to my mom, Angela Glover Blackwell, for her accomplishments and for this award tonight.
Thank you so much. That was so generous. I was really moved by your words. Thank you, Independent Sector, for this amazing honor. And thank all of you for that warm recognition. That was really quite moving for me. This means a lot to me for many reasons. One is because I knew John Gardner. And I remember the first time that I met him, how much in awe I was, because I knew about him before I actually met him. I met him when I joined the board of Common Cause. And Common Cause was my first national board. I was in my early 30s at the time. Someone had seen me at a conference and wanted me to be on the board, and I wasn't elected by the members. I was one of those people who was appointed. And so I went from just being in Oakland to being on the National Board of Common Cause. Archibald Cox was the chair. Imagine that. There were ex-senators, and John Gardner either was still on the board or he came to a meeting, but that's how I met him. I was in awe. He heard me talk about race, and I'm not sure what the issue was, because I talk about race all the time, so it could have been any issue. But later, his friend and mine, Jacqueline Novogratz, I'm sure many of you know her from the Acumen, told me that John Gardner wanted to talk with me because he wanted to hear more about my ideas about the racial issue that I had raised. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that John Gardner thought that there was something I could teach him. And we did meet, and we met each other several times after that. So it means a lot to me to get the John Gardner Award. It means a lot. It also means a lot to get it from the independent sector, because my son is definitely right. I believe that civil society is very important for helping the nation live consistent with the values that it claims to own. And different times require different leadership. Sometimes it is only the government that can make the thing happen that needs to happen. Sometimes it is really the business sector that has to be able to make the thing happen, where the business sector sees something that's possible that people haven't yet seen for themselves. But when we have a values crisis, when our private values are better than our public values, it is up to civil society to lead. And we're in such a moment. I'm happy for the award because I think that being able to have an opportunity to talk about the special role of civil society at a moment like this is a real gift. And the independent sector gave California a gift by coming here and allowing us to assemble nearly 80 leaders throughout California to talk about, given the special role that we have to play, and the time that we're in as a nation, and the moment we have in California with our changed demographics that have been happening for so long, that we have been majority people of color for over 20 years. Given that we have so many people stepping forward to lead politically, that we now have people looking for an agenda for inclusion. Given all of the organizations and leaders who have been working together in various ways together to achieve independent outcomes, now coming together to say, what is the big thing that we want and how do we organize to get it? We spent the whole day talking about that, and it left me absolutely inspired that something big is about to happen in California. Thank you, independent sector. Really appreciate it.